Hey, it is Sister Wives, Season 13, Episode 7, Divided We Move.
Or alternately titled, We All Hate Meri.
Yeah. Yeah, what's actually, I would say, the tag of the whole season.
Basically.
Like, and then she will pay. Because they are all over her. I've said before, sometimes people are like, oh, well, Meri has her problems. Yes, Meri has her problems. You want to go back and watch the old seasons? Yes. When she was pushing for the wet bar, that was the most, the stuff. She pushed for Robin to join the family because I think she wanted a friend. And boy, did that backfire.
Ooh.
But, yeah, I don't know if I've had as painful an episode to watch. I mean, they're all kind of difficult, and of course, I roll my eyes at Cody, and I roll my eyes at Robin, but this was legitimately painful to watch. I want to start a GoFundMe to get a new, I won't say a catfish for Meri, but like an actual man. They'll take her away from this, because they are just nasty to her. So it starts off, Cody says he gets a double vote. They all go to Flagstaff. They haven't
But
seen
he's a man. Shouldn't he get like a quad vote?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it with your jokes that aren't funny. So they go to see the property that Meri liked. And I think it was Cottonwood. I'm not going to get caught up in these names because it's just too confusing.
Yeah, and not
that one's Coyote Pass. So anyway, Cottonwood, for everyone who hasn't been, they really buried this, is closer to town, which is good for the kids, has utilities, no CCR, no covenances, which means they can build 4 houses or 1 big house.
Half
or
chickens,
3
half
houses,
donkeys, ride horses.
Garden, the whole thing, and is cheaper. Let's remember this. We're going to come back to that. Robin's like, well, I'm open to anything. I just want the Lord's leadership. Except it's already
only
like
wants her way, and
she's like, well, there's a dirt road, okay, as opposed to the other place, which is all dirt. And there's trees. We'll have to cut them down. Yeah, not the end of the world. It's actually not. When you're talking about building a house, that's like packing your bags and being like, I don't know if I should bring this one sock. It's like, it's so minor in comparison to everything else. She already hates it. Well, everyone likes it except Gwendolyn didn't like it, Robin and Tony. And it's like, why is Tony even here? Maybe they're moving as well? I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm like, first of all, get Tony off the screen. He had his moment. So then they're like, well, I'm going to be open to the second one. And Janelle's like, let's put money down right this second. And then the one house idea gets brought up, and Cody starts implying that it's all the real estate agent's idea. And it's like, don't say that. And she's like, well, I did mention it. She really forced the issue. Would you? A lot of polygamists live in one house, would you? Well, I guess maybe I would. It's like, that's not what happened.
found something here.
It's okay. He can join us. It's okay. He wants to be on camera. So then they all go back and they're like, well, we can't discuss it now. And so Meri, so when they go back to the house, they wait a week. The real estate agent is like, you really need to get on this. And then and Christine's like, she needs to stop harassing me. And it's like, what's her job? I mean, if she goes, well, sure, take all the time you want, and they come back and the properties are sold, it's going to be their fault. So anyway, they come back that week later, they sit down and talk about it. And Mary's like, yeah, I'll move. I don't really like the property. It's, it's really far away. And Robin's like, well, I just want to do whatever's best. And whatever's best is whatever she wants. And Meri brings up, for being the one who doesn't have a financial mind, I don't know if it was this meeting or the next meeting, but somewhere in there she goes, well, since we have to rent anyway, why do we have to buy property first? Why don't we rent first, sell the houses, and then buy the property?
You mean like be able to afford something?
So
that sounds like a good financial strategy.
But no, he wants it right now. He keeps pushing, they gotta do it right now. No one wants to listen to her. And this is where they start in with the, well, Meri, it's not like you don't seem like you're with us. No, I'm going with you. Well, you don't seem very enthusiastic. Well, I mean, I preferred the other property.
Kind of like you when I got a motorcycle. You were like, fine. I didn't expect you to be thrilled about it.
Right.
But you weren't like adamantly opposed at the point where I finally got one.
Well, it's like, here's the thing, is if they genuinely loved her,
which they know.
Which they don't. But if they genuinely loved her, they would go to her and be like, I know this is not your favorite thing. Are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing fine. Okay, well, I know that you're making a lot of sacrifices, and we really
love you, and we're glad
we
you're
love
coming.
you. We're glad you're coming, and this is going to be a good thing. Like that's what you would say. That's what they're saying to the kids. What they're saying to the kids is,
Well, they like the kids.
They do like the kids.
Well,
but
they like the kids. They're
they
just
like some of
so
them.
dumb. Like what, those prairie dogs. That's what.
Oh well, okay.
The
Oh
fleas carry the plague. The fleas.
Now, to be
carry
fair,
the
though,
plague.
they don't necessarily know that. But I mean, that's the thing to me is that
Well, that's what they
the
think.
property that Robin likes is 4 pieces of property. There's all these rules on it. They don't have utilities. They have.
It's already more expensive.
It's already more expensive, and they have the plague. And the real estate agent says that they're way overpriced. That's why they've been listed for a year, which is a big issue because one of the things you want in a house is you want to pay the appropriate amount because if you ever need to get out from underneath it, you need to be able to sell it.
But the only way they can pay anything is if they sell their Las Vegas properties.
we're getting there in a second. So we'll
already
get
there, honey.
So anyway, so they're having this discussion, and Robin's like, "Well, what do you think, Meri? You're the first wife," and she's like, "Girl, you're the legal wife." And it's like, "Oh snap! I am not the legal wife. I am well aware that I am fourth." And then the sound you hear is the entire nation's eyes rolling because no one believes that she's fourth. And the reason she's comfortable saying she's fourth is because she's just saying that so Janelle and Christine don't get mad that she hopped the line. Because we all know, everyone knows. Like, you look on Facebook, and except for the deluded people that are like, Cody's such a good dad. And I'm like, oh, girl, I don't know what you're comparing him to. But seeing your kids once every 4th day by choice, now there's plenty of people that have that are long-distance truckers or in the military or seasonal work. I'm not slamming them. But he's doing this. He's only seen his kids. I don't even know that he has a job by choice. Clearly, we have a lot of opinions. So, Meri isn't happy, and they are just... Even Janelle...
And our opinions are right.
Even Janelle, who I like, is like, well, Meri... And enough so that after they all leave, and she has said, yes, I've said I'm going with you. Well, are you okay putting down money? Yes, I said 3 days ago I was okay putting down money. They all leave. Cody sits down. He's like, I want you to own this. And she's like, Cody, I've said, we just need a little support. We just want you to say you're going. I have said I'm going. Well, we just want you to be truthful. I'm trying to be truthful, and you guys aren't happy. Well, you just don't seem very happy. Well, I admit that I don't. As I say, I like where we live. Well, just you to be on board. I am on board. Finally, they go. Oh, and it comes out that they move every 5 to 6 years. And this is where we start seeing cracks in the foundation. Unfortunately, we probably won't see. He goes, well, maybe we'll be there for a year and not like it. And Robin's like, oh, no, we're moving and we're staying. And I'm like, okay. So Meri isn't happy.
Robin is the man of the houses.
I know. She really is. Oh, and she does mention, well, Cody, when we talked about this 6 months ago, and I'm like, aha! 6 months ago. Okay, so anyway, they give an offer in.
Oh, yeah.
For 70%, because that's what the real estate agent is. The people come back and say no. No. So they said, well,
you know
what we
what
can
you do at that point? You make an offer on another property.
This is the thing.
Like,
that's what kills me. They're like, oh, we just want God's guidance. You know what happens when you put an offer in? And and they go and they say, this is literally all we can pay. And they come back and say no. You go, you know what? Maybe that other property that was cheaper, closer to town, has utilities, has internet. Maybe this doesn't have the plague. I mean, it probably has prairie dogs as well. But maybe that's the time for it.
They seem to be out more in fields versus in the forest.
But it's clear, yes. But it's clear to me that Meri is biting her tongue for all of their, why aren't you supportive? She could have easily been like, hey guys, I think this is a sign that we should go list for the other property. But she doesn't.
Because going up against Robin is a losing proposal.
Yeah, and she's barely...
And she's already the losing team.
She's already isolated alone. Cody's not sleeping with her.
I mean, at this point, it's like, why pretend?
Right. So anyway...
I feel bad because she loves the kids and...
She does, and this is the only lifestyle she knows.
She only had
and
one
she
kid and
she was raised...
she's moved away.
But I will say, though, this is really interesting. Everybody else helps everyone else move. And when it came up about helping Mariah move, they were like, whatever, she can do it herself. And Meri, I'm going to say is like, no, I'm helping her. I'm doing whatever I can to help my only daughter. And the thing is, a lot of people on Twitter say that the subtext is they're finding excuses because Mariah's gay. I have no idea if that's true. I couldn't possibly know that. I mean, it'd be kind of surprising if they didn't have a problem, but they say they don't have a problem with her. The mothers seem happy with her, whatever. But I get it. You got one kid.
Well, I mean,
she doesn't have a husband.
It's hard to know what to think because, like, they're not good Mormons. They drink and
well, but they're
stuff.
not Mormons. They are fundamental LDS, and I don't know how much. I will say though, I'm pretty sure that that's
I
supposed
don't know
to be.
or care about the differences, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, but people who are part of that's like saying, oh, well, you're Catholic, and we're not Catholic. We don't have a problem with Catholics. We're just not part of that denomination. Same thing. But my point is, she doesn't have a husband.
I don't care about that.
She essentially doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have someone who is coming. You know, she has someone who is telling her what to do, but she does not have someone who is coming and sharing a bed with her.
Yeah.
Even one day out of 4. She does have a daughter whose relationship she is trying to repair. Not saying that Meri was right and all that, but geez Louise, if this is any indication of what she deals with, you know, anyway.
Well, at some point you gotta.
So then there's all
pack
these.
Your crap and
there's
go.
all these you know, we have the typical. Oh, Cody's gonna make this wedding all about him, so we watch.
Yeah,
I want to know. I want to know. Are the producers going? Yeah, Cody, we definitely want to see you try on a kilt for 10 minutes. Or is Cody going? Hey, we have this great thing because I don't want to see it. I don't really care. I would have much rather watched all the little.
He's just so handsome and his hair.
Anyway. So they have this, they're having this, and so, and if there's anything that is right on brand, Mitch insisting that he,
his beard has been bugging the heck out of me. I'm like, why does it bug me so much? It's a reverse handlebar mustache. That's why it bugs me. Like, what is that? It's awful. Get it off your face.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm gonna let you take care of the men facial hair section of the recap.
It just dawned on me.
Okay. So if there's anything totally on brand, is one of the girls marrying a guy who acts just like Cody, Taco Tony. Mitch insists that he should go to the bridal shower. Yeah. But not that it's a co-ed bridal shower, that it's just him. Which is like
nothing weird and maybe controlling about that. The
wording they said, which is, well, he's the guest of honor. And it's like, but she's not invited to his bachelor party. It's a little bit like, okay. I mean, you came to my shower at the end.
Because you asked.
Because to help me put the gifts in the car. I was told this is kind of standard. So you put the gifts in the car after everything's done, and so that all of my mom's friends who came to the bridal shower who hadn't met you will get a chance to meet you prior to the wedding.
And it wasn't like, oh, I'm coming.
No. Just to be clear, I'm saying I think that's more of a common way to do it, which is that I have my moment, and I was.
If my bride-to-be asks me to do something for her, I'm gonna do it.
Aww, listen.
Just like I still do what you ask, usually.
Anyway, but something about that kind of rubbed me wrong. It clearly didn't bother her, so whatever. But then right before the shower starts, everybody has to go over there to hear that so what they did was they met the seller's price, which we were told was like 30% too high, and offered less down, which was all the money they have. It gave me anxiety.
How many kids are there?
90.
Too damn many to do something like that with.
Well, my thing is, when you play these games, because what happens is, people don't always think of this, like, sure, you take out a mortgage, but you're paying interest on this mortgage, so you end up paying it 3 times over by the time you're done. So taking out a bigger mortgage means you're essentially losing money. I know most people can't pay cash. I mean, I'm realistic. I'm not saying they should pay cash, but the idea is what we got at the end of it was
they're one
all
serious
of their money,
illness away from being broke and destitute.
Well, not even serious. Like, they're out there working on this land and he breaks his femur. I mean,
Flack.
If they have it, they've taken.
Right.
They have said. Now I don't know their finances. They said they have put all their money into the down payment.
That's never a wise decision.
And Meri is a little. They're like, well, Meri, you don't seem very excited. She's like, well, I'm a little concerned because we already have to pay the mortgages on our existing houses. 4 houses. We have to now immediately put all of our money into this property and keep paying. So that's now 5. And we have to rent 4 more houses. And it's like everyone kind of is, and they're like, well, are you on board? And I thought she was going to get up and leave, and I wasn't going to blame her because she's like, are you kidding? We had this conversation a few days ago. I sat and had this long conversation with you, Cody. Now you're bugging me again. And then, of course, this all happens. He has a major panic attack about everything he has to do.
Now, this is either because it's got to be, the attention's got to be reverted back to him, or because he was never really on board with this move and it's all Robin's idea.
Well, I think
Could be 50-50.
I'm going to say it's probably 90-10. I'm going to say that he got so caught up like you do when you're at an auction. That's the whole base of an auction, is that you get so caught up in the moment, you overextend yourself. And that's what I think happened. But I think it's a big part of it is attention always has to be back on poor Cody. Oh man, do you know how difficult it is to have 4 wives? Well, now he has this big thing. And he wants all this pity about how difficult. I don't even want to think about that. So anyway, clearly this is probably twice, if not 3 times longer than our normal recap, because there was a lot to unpack that made me unhappy.
And I won't be doing next week because it's a wedding about a kid, and I don't care.
You will too, but you are not going to do RuPaul's Drag Race.
Definitely not doing that.
But you are going to do Project Runway.